All right, y'all, let's get into the doomsday clock and tie some points together for us, okay? This kind of came to me this morning, so there's enough there for y'all to get the picture. You live in end times, all right? We can all see that around us. They call it the end of days, all right? You're living on that end day, in a matter of speaking. That day has 24 hours in it. That 24 hours relates to 24 years, all right? 2000 marked the start, 2001 and 2002. Those all mark different time frames because in 2000 you had the Y2K ready. That's 25-2 for the 2025, and then the K is the 11, the L even, the God even. And Biden, he did ISIS K when he got in there. I assist K, I assist the over. And we see him doing that now, part of the treason and those kinds of things. All right, and the infrastructure, the build back better, you got to destroy it to build back better. I assist the over, okay? So the Y2K, 2000, 2001, the alarm clock went off, all right? And it was kind of the start of the season, right? And then 2002 went by and you were either like awake or you weren't kind of awake and you just went down the other rabbit trail. That's kind of when the truth community started. So that truth community is where you're like seeking after truth, seeking after Jesus, seeking after the things that the world doesn't necessarily follow, because it says if you believe like the world, you believe the lie. And we're seeing these things on TV where they're showing this, but we're also seeing other footage where there's not that going in there. So it's just like one of those things where you don't know what to believe, so you don't believe anything. Okay, you're not pulled right or left. Okay, so those all account to the 23, 24, and 25, where X marks the spot and the end of the 24. If 2000 is the start, then that is 24 later is 23. Okay, so that all goes to that, and this ends up lining up with the end time clock. Okay, so 2012, you have the Mayan calendar, the Mayan calendar, the Mayan calendar. This is starting a high noon, right? The high noon is the high new in, and those little tidbits. But Obama was the dark sun going into the night, all right? And then you have the alarm clock going off at 6:16:15 when Trump announced his rise, and that was the new dawn rising, and that was at 6:16 on the TikTok 15 milliseconds, the milliseconds, and then you had the Melania Trump. Either way, it all goes together to tell the story. So this is the alarm clock for that final time, all right? And we're on that final stretch. So 23, 24, 25, depending 2000, 2001, 2002, will all be for that X marks the spot in different areas, okay? And X marks the spot for Texas, more than likely in 24, but it can come as early as 23. And that's the heart and soul of America per se, because when the 2007, 2008 crash, which ties to Trump at 77 this year, and then Elvis at 88, which is now, so between Trump 77 and Elvis turning 89 and 18, that would be that mark for X marks the spot for the crash in Texas and all those little things, right? We know that Little Rocket Man and the Houston Rockets and the little horn, that little horn is that blast like, hey, go to the mountains, go to the mountains, go to the mountains, right? It's going to be telling you stuff. Just like that trumpets told the people who could hear that it was end times, and the Spirit moved them to go learn and go to the mountains and come back to warn the people. The new dawn has risen, and he's also the setting of that sun. And that's why he wears the capstone, and everything goes to that one point, and then it starts off at that one point, and then that's why you have the MAGA and the DeSantis rising on the grounds of MAGA, and that which is right, the self-righteous, and all these other things, okay? The buy and sell, the self-righteousness, the right hand, heart. Okay, folks, it all goes together there, all right? So the end of America is 23 and 24 and 25 in a matter of speaking, and then the new day starts, and that's the 6 days of creation. The seventh day he rested, all right? So the 6 days is tied to the first day. 2025 is without form and void, and darkness upon the deep, and that's where you have America burned and destroyed in 2025 and built back better, because after DeSantis does what he does, after whatever happens with the elections and however they work it, he's going to rise up, and that's going to be your cue to go to that's going to be your final 3 days to get to wherever you need to go, or final 24 hours or whatever. And after that, that's when the big abomination of desolation would come, to where we're just knocked out for good, okay? That's why it says when you see these things to go, because there's going to be a certain point in time where you're not going to be able to go, where you're going to go into judgment and hell on earth and all these other things. You can track it with time, and then you have the new sun and the moon and stuff setting for the fourth day. So it'd be like the fourth year into the DeSantis. So it'd be 25, 26, 27, 28, the 28th election, right, for 2029. And then you get the cool of the night, and then Megan, or however they work all that stuff. And then you get the other parties and whatever else in the divide of America. And we can see the world dividing now in a big way, like the eastern countries or the other countries are going against the West, right? That's going to be like the East going against the West, and those kinds of things as well. And then we see them setting up the national divorce now. And all these things that I've told you I was going to be coming, all right? And all these things was confirmed to me through my buddy who had ties to a colonel who's supposedly some genius or whatever, who created some AI programs for the military, and he's confirmed all these divides and wars and stuff that's coming to the states, okay? So it's just a matter of time, people, all right? And those who have the eyes to see will see, and those who have the ears to hear will hear, okay? You can't make a person wake up. They're dead asleep in the American dream. And it says that the Lord is coming after the firstborn, and the firstborn portrays to those baby boomers, and they're the start of this so-called end time system, all right? They're the ones who were born after 48 and stuff, and they've seen the full blown. They've been tested their whole life, and they've basically have failed the carnal test and the spiritual test, and that's where you get the bell worship and giving your countenance and give me respect, boy. Call everybody sir. That's the serpent. That's the serpent in the garden. He's wanting to control men. Okay. The kids, they don't need to call everybody sir and ma'am or whatever. That's beast mentality. That's giving your countenance over. All right. You need to call your mom and dad sir or ma'am. All right. Because they're the Lord of the household. All right. But this goes back to the garden where that's where you get in end times, where the father goes against the son and the mother-in-law goes against the daughter-in-law, is because you have the Lord of the household has lost his countenance, and it's because the people, the believer children, are going against the church. And that's because in end times, the fifth and sixth seal, the church is persecuted, and the church is wrong. The church is destroyed. The old church is gone. And that's not what these people are seeing or understanding, is that you're living in end times. the church has fallen away. All the churches, they're all wrong. That's why it feels like you're at a motivational speech. That's why they use one or two scriptures. And then that's why the ones that use a bunch of Bible, they do that brainwashing mechanisms, and they want to define all the words for you through a carnal aspect, and they want to do all this other garbage, okay? It's all brought to there to control man. And as the sons of God, we are as God, so we are our own governmental system. Nobody can tell me what I can and cannot do, all right? It's the laws of the land. It's nature, all right? But with that, there's this two-edged sword. You can't just go and eat all the damn Cheetos you want. You can't go and just drink all the damn Coca-Cola you want. You can drink all the water you want. You can eat all the cheese from raw milk you want, okay? But as soon as you start getting the further away from nature, the more you start getting reliant on man. Once you start getting reliant on man, you start giving your countenance over and you start losing your godhood, okay? This is where it all kind of comes down to, like, you can go buy your fruits and vegetables, but know that you're giving over to that point, okay? You can grow your own fruits and vegetables, but that's where it's like you just want to grow your own just to know that you have a way to provide for yourself, all right? It's a spiritual accomplishment just to know that you can provide for yourself. It is just to know that you're not 100% reliant on that system. That's kind of like what fasting does. Is like, I don't need to eat, I don't need to drink, I don't need to do what they tell me to do, okay? I don't have to eat 3 times a day or whatever, okay? Or their food pyramid or whatever. I can do what I want to do, all right? But it's within boundaries. You can't just do what you want to do to the beast man, okay? Once you give your heart over, the doctor gets the surgery, okay? So once you give your heart over to the beast system and those beast foods and those beast drinks and beast medications and beast drugs or whatever, then you gave your countenance away, all right? So there is a two-edged sword with everything, all right? And this is what people don't understand. And this is why they want to just go to the right edge or the left edge. You need to walk in the middle of the sword and go to the one point, all right? You got to live at the point, not at the left and right, okay? And you have to have a handle on life to understand the two sides, all right? If you don't have a handle on two sides, you're just going to be swinging whichever way the hand is swinging you, and the hand that's swinging you is that, I guess, your right hand at the moment, because that's where you're probably holding your phone at, and your phone is making you go all over this world doing stupid shit, masking up, whatever else, and they're going to get you to stop kissing or stop having sex or whatever else from this next variant coming out. They're going to get you scared when the crapture happens and with the white throne judgment and all this other stuff, all right? They're going to come and change society. And DeSantis, he has the 7 heads of the beast with the 7 days and all those little things, okay? And then he rested at the end. And either way, folks, it's all there. And DeSantis is also that DeSanta for the Saint Nick. And his name is the saints. And that Saint Nick is for the iniquity. The iniquity is for the T and the crossroads of the nation, because the crossroads is where the blood on the cross is, and that is going to happen in all your little cities and all these things in America, okay? So TikTok is there, and we're down on the final countdown, and we know that 6/16/15 is a TikTok time, and we can kind of maybe use that as a time reference to calculate things in the future and go from there. But right now, the pieces just kind of came, so we'll continue to put these things together, and but hopefully this will be enough to wake some more people up about the day and hour, and that these carnal signs that the church is teaching, the chip in the arm and all that shit, that's never going to happen. And when it does happen, if it ever does happen, it's going to be way downwind after the whatever shows up and whoever comes out, and they're already asleep, okay? The mark is already in the right hand. Proverbs and other parts of the Bible tell us the right hand is the heart, It's what you think is right and wrong or whatever, and that's your self-righteousness that is as filthy rags, because there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no good, there is no bad. That's how good and bad and good switch in the end. And that's how Lucifer regains his throne into heaven. And that's how, I guess, Jesus would so-called come down and the church is destroyed and all those other things, okay? It's right there in front of you.